In order to adequately structure, maintain, and develop a democratic system of world government, a world constitution would need to be fashioned and implemented. This would require negotiation, collaboration, compromise, diplomacy, persuasion, consultation, you name it. This process would likely bring people from the widest possible range of cultures and backgrounds together. This would surely be fertile grounds for the development of a league of common interests. Would this be a positive occurrence? Well, cultures and nations have been borrowing ideas and philosophies from each other throughout history, and this has led to both positive and negative consequences. But the prospect of a worldwide constitutional convention could conceivably affect a coming together of the finest minds that humanity has to offer from a vast number of specialist fields, and these minds could bring their wisdom and expertise to the table and put them in the service of the human race. If we were to have a democratic world government elected by and representative of the peoples of Earth, and assuming that this regime was bounded by constitutional safeguards and provisions, well then, we would have an environment at the global level in which accountability and transparency could be instituted and maintained. If we were to have a world government, it would have to be democratic. Anything less than an elected, representative, accountable and transparent system would be intolerable to the peoples of Earth. The human family is rich in perspectives, ideologies, and approaches. Now, one of the key tenets of democracy is your voice matters, your voice counts. In my view, everyone has the right to be heard. Simple as that. If you give people a platform upon which they can make their voices heard, or a forum in which they can express their thoughts and ideas, 9 out of 10 times they will. Where people speak, people listen. Where a wide variety of people and perspectives come together for whatever reason or reasons, this can generate lively debates, beneficial exchanges of views and ideas, It can generate enlightening conversations and maybe even new friendships. A broad dialogue amongst diverse peoples, cultures and approaches can enrich the knowledge of all concerned. And this can give rise to innovative thoughts and practices, which in turn can strengthen and enrich cultures and communities. Okay. There doesn't seem to be a universal definition of democracy. However, there are some important features or characteristics of modern democracy that I think a lot of people around the world do agree on. More so than any other forms of government, democracy tends to create not only a respect for the concept of equality, but also establishes equality in practice. Equality before the law, equal voting rights, equal civil rights, and equality of opportunity are undoubtedly characteristics of a democratic society. Democratic societies also tend to emphasize the importance of freedom. In modern democratic societies, we see freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of the press. We also see constitutional protection of individual liberties, a respect for human rights and due process, and the right to petition those in power for redress of grievances. Democratic forms of government tend to be founded on secular principles that call for the separation of the state and religion. Democracies tend to be constitutional. They tend to be structured so as to ensure a balance of power, accountability of government, an independent judiciary, political pluralism, freedom from persecution, and so on and so forth. Well, when I think of modern democracy, certain ideas or ideals seem to stand out. These are freedom, equality, social justice, balance, stability, the rule of law, respect for diversity, tolerance, and citizenship. As far as I'm concerned, the principles of democracy are intimately connected with the true nature of human beings. If we were to one day have a fully functioning cosmopolitan democracy, I'm sure that there would be more than a few logistical difficulties, but we could all conceivably live in a world where the rule of law trumps the rule of the gun, and where conflicts are solved by peaceful rather than violent means, and where all people could be legally equal as fellow citizens of the world. Peace, and have a nice day, boys and girls. Power to the people.